Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday the 25th of November 2025. So yesterday's headlines: by all things, there are dip buyers galore as rate cut odds soar. So here we go, the narrative changes once more. It's one day it's on, one day it's off. But yesterday it was on, so bonds, Bitcoin, big cap tech, bullion, black gold and the dollar are all higher to start this short week. And it is a short week, which I mentioned in yesterday's alert. US stocks rallied amid tech strength and Fed rate cut bets. So, like I say, it keeps vacillating between they will, they won't. Fed rate cut bets were boosted after Fed Governor Waller reaffirmed backing for a 25 basis point move in December. And Fed's daily 2027 voter also endorsed such a reduction. So, obviously, the markets are booked by this. Stocks rally while traders boost December rate cut. So there's your narrative all the way through. And of course, that's a positive for the markets, positive for the metals as well. As far as economic news is concerned, today is Tuesday. We've got just US news today all the way across there. Core PPI, retail sales PPI. And of course, tomorrow it'll be saying rate cut no longer possible because PPI is stronger than forecast, etc. So you can see how the narratives are playing out at this time. Certainly as you the run up to a potential rate cut, which we will see next month. Right, and also here, look, gold surges towards 4,100 as markets go all in on Fed cuts. So it's dominating the news now. Right, let's have a look at the markets and their reaction to this news and kick off with the Dow. So yesterday we have an inside bar. The market, well, it looks like an inside bar. If not, we just touched Friday's high with yesterday's bar, but overnight the market is sideways. But certainly some demand there for Friday, some more buying as well for yesterday. In the 30-minute chart, we did touch Friday's high there during yesterday. We also had an 89% retracement before prices moved lower as well. But the main part yesterday morning, we saw the selling continue down to the DP, the 200 MA, but we see the demand coming in. Market was oversold, needed to rest, and rest it did. Then new buying came in. We kicked off the cash session with the market moving lower. Then it was followed by two lots of buying over an hour and the market trading up to the high of Friday there. Like I say, we put in an 89% retracement and then the market moving down overnight to sit at the 50 EMA and the DP there. In the German DAX, this too taking out Friday's high during yesterday's session, but struggling a bit overnight. It needs to stay above the mauve line there, sort of mauve pink line, which is a 5-bar moving average. That's the first indication that the market is attempting to shift course. We've got demand coming in for Friday, that's all confirmed, and we've got some fib retracements to the upside just in case we do manage to take out the high to the left there where the last round of selling took place, which you can see there before the demand came in. So the market also keep an eye on the 38% retracement from this high down to this low because the 200 MA is there as well, market having taken this out. So keep an eye on that if we do get any sort of rally in the DAX. Yesterday, very choppy. We moved higher to begin with up to the R1. The market then found selling and brought the market all the way back down to the DP. It was only in the afternoon when the Dow opened that we saw a bit more strength coming into the market, but this was short-lived too as the market found resistance at the high of Friday. Prices rallied back 100% before they were then able to get stuck in this sideways move. Overnight prices have come down towards the low of yesterday, not quite touched yet, so having hit the 200 MA as well, the black line, and finding resistance, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a bit of a shakeout to the downside first before we see any movement to the upside in the German DAX. And moving back to the US, unlike the Dow, the S&P had no trouble taking out Friday's low. Volume was quite low, so selling seems to have disappeared. If we just have a look from this high down to this low, we're sitting at 78%. That's where the market traded to. A bit of resistance there at the moment. The 30-minute chart, we still had the morning shakeout that we saw in the Dow, which is the overnight, of course, for the S&P and the Dow, down towards the close of Friday, and then prices moving higher, and it was full steam ahead after Waller had made his comments, as you can see there, straight up, and then overnight the market's been trading sideways to higher. Got a new high there at 6715, not an all-time high, just a high that we've not seen for a while. If you go back to the daily chart, you'll see the lower high, so good news there as far as stock traders are concerned. And then in the UK, the market's treading water ahead of Rachel from Accounts budget tomorrow, which is going to be an interesting one, is all I will say at the moment with regard to that. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? And UK 30 minutes, we were choppy to the downside, found support at the 200 MA in the 30-minute chart. We tried to find a bit more there, but we had to have a shakeout down past the DP, and there you can see the buying coming in, and then we managed to bounce back up to the close of Friday, before then we retested down past the previous support where we saw this buying coming in. The market is now sideways and struggling with both the DP and the close. So in the US dollar, we're starting to see the market attempt to try and get through this area. That's not going to be good news if we do get the rate cut, because they're inversely related, and you'll see the US dollar start to move down. However, what you also get to see as well is it spiked through first, despite that correlation between the two markets. So you get it to go through, and then they can try and come back and find support at the 100 level there. Right, let's have a quick look at the metals. So yesterday, surprised to see silver moving to the upside. There was no major buying or selling, and overnight prices are attempting to move higher, but unfortunately they're at 50% retracement from this high to this low, and it's going to take a bit of getting through there. So 30 minutes, let's have a closer look. We were sideways all the way through until there was a mention of a rate cut. Silver then taking off to the upside. It's also trying to hold it to yesterday's high at the moment, but a bit of an increase in volume there. So obviously somebody moved the market up, and then they moved it down. So the high is very important, that the market holds at this level and we get through the high that's just being created up here as well. Meanwhile, in gold, we saw the headlines, gold back above 4,100, currently trading at 4,143, but we've got a bit of a problem here, because we've got resistance at 4,051, and in the 30-minute chart, you'll see there yesterday moving up very nicely, but consolidating at the moment at yesterday's high. So a quick look at the gold-silver ratio. And in the gold-silver ratio yesterday, starting to make its way back to the 80 level, 80.5 at the moment, but certainly supporting a lower gold-silver ratio there at the moment. Right, a quick look at yesterday's 2-minute DAX charts and trades. So the market selling off to begin with. Expect that sort of activity today, but towards the low. More on that in just a moment. So we can see them buying back in here, down at the close, just after the close, and then sending the market back to the upside. So prices then continue for a moment or two, and then come back and retest in a minute the high, which you can see there. We have the signal when the market started to move lower, and we ended up going down over 100 points there, all the way down to the close, until you see the climatic volume coming in there, and you see the buying there coming in as well at the close, one of the major levels that we look at, and then the market moving back up, but unfortunately finding resistance at the 200 MA, which sees the market then spike down, take out the long, before then drifting back down, having failed to take out the high, which is what we saw earlier. So let's fast forward all the way through, back down to the DP, and then into the US trading session, which you'll see there starting to move to the upside, but some selling coming in with the red bar there. And then we had a potential sell that was filled, but we had a spike back up, just taking the stop out, unfortunately, as the market then moved back up with the following the Dow with, of course, the potential of a rate cut. And then we had another quick sell signal just into the 430 closing range, and again you can see the buying coming in here at the psychological level, holding prices there until they break through and are retested. Again, you see some more buying coming through there, and then trying to move back to the upside. And that's as much as I have there. So let's have a look, see where we are overnight. We're trying to move slightly lower there at the moment, and if we move the chart, we can see that we've got a low of yesterday just down here, which is potentially got a chance to be tested. The market will need to stay above the 200 MA to avoid this, but if not, then we'll retest the lows before then heading to the upside. That seems to be the pattern at the moment. Right, that's it for this one. Let's see how things unfold today, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.